I never thought my own parents would say. My kids weren't welcome in their home until they did. I still remember standing in my kitchen, staring at my phone in disbelief. Thanksgiving was just a few weeks away when my mom called. Her voice sounded unusually cheerful. "Honey, we need to talk about Thanksgiving this year." Despite the tension we'd had over the years, my heart still warmed at the thought of family traditions. My kids, Emma and Lucas, adored their grandparents, even if the bond had grown distant. "Of course, Mom. What's the plan?" I asked, already picturing their house filled with the smell of turkey, cinnamon, and warmth. She hesitated. "This year, we're doing something a little different. A smaller dinner. Just adults. Something more intimate." I frowned. "So, no kids at all?" Another pause. Then, "Well, not exactly." That cold knot of dread tightened in my stomach. "What do you mean?" Mom sighed, trying to sound gentle. "Allie, we love your kids, we really do, but they're just energetic, and we think it would be better if you left them with a sitter this year." I gripped the edge of the counter. "So just my kids? What about Daniel's?" There was a beat of silence. "Daniel and Sophie are coming with their boys. But you know how well-behaved they are. Quieter, more refined. It's just easier." It felt like a slap. "They're children," I said, my voice shaking. "Emma is 7, Lucas is 4. They're sweet, and they love you." Mom's tone hardened. "We're just trying to have a peaceful evening. It's not personal." "Not personal?" My jaw clenched. "It is personal," I whispered. "You're inviting Daniel's kids and excluding mine." "Oh, Allie, don't be dramatic. It's just one dinner. You and Liam are still invited, of course." I almost laughed. They wanted me there, but not the two people I loved most in the world? "No, Mom," I said quietly. "If my kids aren't welcome, neither am I." She was silent for a beat. Then she huffed, "Suit yourself," and hung up. I stared at the phone. Emma and Lucas were giggling in the next room, building a pillow fort, completely unaware that their grandparents had just cast them aside like an inconvenience. I wasn't going to let this slide. Not anymore. For years, I'd tried to earn their approval, telling myself they loved us equally, that the favoritism was in my head. But this made it crystal clear, and they were going to regret it. The next morning, a text from Daniel lit up my phone. Daniel: "Mom said you're being difficult about Thanksgiving. Why do you always have to make everything dramatic?" Me: "Oh, she told you she uninvited my kids but not yours?" Daniel: "She just wants a calm dinner. You know how your kids can be. A lot." A lot? I nearly threw my phone across the room. Instead, I typed, "Me: Enjoy your perfect Thanksgiving, Daniel. I won't be there." And I meant it. Not just for this dinner. For everything. They were about to learn what happens. When the reliable one walks away, I stopped answering their calls, ignored their texts. When Dad needed help setting up his TV, I let it ring. When Mom needed a ride to the pharmacy, I didn't even open the message. By Thanksgiving morning, I had ignored 12 calls and 6 texts. And for the first time, I felt peace. My family, my real family, was in the kitchen, making pancakes. Emma and Lucas were covered in flour. Liam was laughing. The smell of syrup filled the air. We were home. We were happy. Then the phone rang again. "Mom," I let it go to voicemail. Then it rang again. And again. Finally, I picked up. "Oh, now you pick up," she snapped. "I suppose you're just sitting at home feeling sorry for yourself." "If you called to gloat, I'm not interested," I said. "I need to ask you something." Her voice shifted, sharper now. "Did you cancel the credit card?" Everything stopped. The card, the one they'd been using for essentials. It was mine. Years ago, I added them as authorized users when Dad was recovering from surgery. I meant to remove them. I never did. And they never reminded me. You mean my credit card? I asked. She scoffed. Don't be so dramatic, Allie. It's just a card. You make good money. And you figured I'd just keep paying without you even telling me my kids weren't welcome? We raised you. The least you could do is support us now. I took a breath. You're right. I did cancel it. And while we're being honest, you'll never see another cent from me. Allie, no more gifts. No more help. You chose to treat my children like they don't matter. Now you can find out what life is like without me. Her voice went cold. You'll regret this. Click. I stared at the phone. My hands were shaking, but my heart felt still. 3 days later. A call from Daniel. I almost ignored it. But curiosity won. Daniel. What the hell, Allie? You canceled their card? They're freaking out. Me. They should be. Daniel. You're seriously punishing them over one dinner? Me. No. I'm finally standing up for my children. He was silent. I hung up. They thought I'd always be there, that I'd stay quiet, that I'd keep paying for their peace while they excluded my kids. Not anymore. This time, I chose my family. I chose my kids. I chose me. And I didn't regret it for a second. New Year's Eve was supposed to be a fresh start. Instead, it became their last attempt at control. Our home was glowing with warmth and laughter. Emma and Lucas were running through the living room in their party hats, counting down to midnight. Liam poured champagne into 2 flutes and gave me a soft smile. It was quiet, simple, perfect. And then the doorbell rang. Liam looked at me. You think? I already knew. I opened the door. There they were. Mom, Dad, Daniel, and his wife, Sophie. I didn't even need to ask why they were there. The tension was written across their carefully curated expressions. We just want to talk, Mom began, that saccharine tone coating every word. No thanks, I said flatly, already stepping back. Dad raised a hand. Allie, come on. You've made your point. Let's fix this before it goes too far. I narrowed my eyes. Too far? What does that mean? They exchanged glances, and then Daniel stepped forward, arms crossed like he was the one who'd been wronged. Mom and Dad have spoken to a lawyer. My stomach dropped. A lawyer? Mom nodded, her expression dripping with faux concern. We've been looking into grandparents' rights. For a moment, I just stared at them until the absurdity of it hit me. And then I laughed, loud, unfiltered, incredulous. Daniel scowled. What's so funny? Oh, I said, wiping a tear from the corner of my eye. You're serious. We're doing what's best for the kids, Mom added, voice cold. They deserve to know their real family. You mean the people who told them they weren't welcome at Thanksgiving? Who stole from me for years? You think you're entitled to their love after that? My voice was ice. Dad stepped forward. You don't want to do this, Allie. I do, I said, pulling out my phone. Because I've got every voicemail, every manipulative message, every unauthorized charge. If you take this to court, I'll make sure the truth follows you like a shadow. Everywhere. Mom's mask cracked. You're being unreasonable. No, I smiled. I'm finally being honest. And with that, I shut the door in their faces. They never filed. Of course they didn't. They had no case, no standing, no real love behind their actions, just ego and control. And when I didn't flinch, when I didn't come running or apologizing, they vanished. No calls, no texts, just silence. And God, silence had never felt so good. Weeks passed, then months. Spring arrived. One sunny afternoon, I sat on the porch, lemonade in hand, watching Emma and Lucas chase bubbles across the yard, their laughter echoing like wind chimes in the breeze. Liam sat beside me, leaning back in his chair. It's been quiet, he said. I nodded. Yeah, feels peaceful. He gave me a sideways grin. Think they'll try again? I watched the kids twirling barefoot through the grass. Let them. Doesn't matter. Because I had already won. Not in some petty, vengeful way. I won by protecting my kids, by choosing peace, by breaking a cycle that had held me hostage my entire life. I had my children, my home, my voice, and I'd never let anyone, family or not, make us feel unwanted again.